Good morning, everybody. Today's book is called Freddie's Fishes, Frightful Day. And would you believe it's written by a very good friend of mine called Rose Carson. I'm going to tell you all about it in a little while, but let's start with our song. Good morning, I hope you're well today. The sun is shining, the sky is blue, the flowers are sparkling just like you. Good morning, I hope you're well today. This morning, we had a really nice surprise. We had on our YouTube, we watched our pastor because he was telling us about Palm Sunday. And he asked us all to go out and cut a palm and put it just in front of our house. We don't have anybody around our house. We're very lucky. But we put our palm right there and we listened to stories about Palm Sunday. So for you, Palm Sunday Day. Right, today we're going to tell a story about Freddie the fish. Now, let me tell you about this. Quite a few years ago, a lot of people in Freeport were taking special courses, mostly for teachers, and the professors from Miami University used to come over to Freeport, and they tried to upgrade all the teachers in Freeport to give them a better look at lots of different things. One of the things that we all had to do was to write a story. We could do it for any level. Some of us wrote very small stories, and this is the story that Rose wrote, and she was a teacher at Lewis Yard then, and this is just beautiful, and she got very high marks for it because she brought it to me the other day and it says, "This story is delightful," and she loves the drawings and I should have it published. That's what the professor said. So again, I'm going to read it and I'm going to show you the pictures later. Freddie was glad to be home again. What a day he had had. I can do without another day like that, he thought to himself as he snuggled down in his soft bed in the sand. And here's Rose's picture. We had to draw the paintings too. Just very easy. And here's Freddie, and of course there's a conch shell, and this is the sea coral. This morning, he had been playing hide and seek amongst the sea fans. That's what little fish seem to do all day, every day. Freddie wanted to do something different, something exciting. His mother was always warning her little fish not to go far from home because there were many dangers in the big ocean. She had told her children many times not to go to the black rocks by the seashore, for that was the most dangerous place for all the little fish. Now let me see if you can see. You can see a beautiful purple sea fan, some coral, and the little fish that live amongst the coral. And here you can find these right in the ocean. It's a sea biscuit. We collect them and sometimes we paint those at Christmas. They look really good. I'm not afraid, Freddie would say. I've been near the great big sharks. I even swam right beside one all the way to the end of the reef. He really had. He was a very daring little fish. He would swim as close as he could to a barracuda before darting back to the safety of his hole in the coral. Whoa, Da, 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 there's a shark. Ooh. And again, all the sun on the beach and the little tiny sea biscuits and fans. Oh, and there's a sea star. Freddie's mother worried about her little fish. Today, the same old games seemed more boring than ever. And before Freddie knew what he was doing, he found himself swimming off in the direction of the seashore. When he reached the black rocks, he couldn't understand why his mother had worried so. All he could see were tiny little yellow and black fish, all swimming about. Why, only baby fish live here, thought Freddie to himself, and he began to chase the little fish in and out and about. Here they are. We call them sergeant majors. Here's Freddie and the coral. I think Rose did a good job. He was having a great time when suddenly there was a big splash. Freddie tried to swim into the nearest hole, but he couldn't. He was caught. He wriggled this way and that way, but he couldn't get free. It began to get lighter and brighter as he felt himself being lifted out of the water. It seemed so hot. Freddie was frightened. He didn't like to admit it, but he was quivering with fear. He was so scared, he lay still for a moment, and he could hear voices. Oh, look what he's caught in. He's caught in someone's net. Oh, a little island here, look, with palm trees. Sean, come here and see what I've caught, Freddie heard someone say as a big hand came down on top of him and picked him up. He tried to squirm his way out of the grip, but it was no good. I think it's a grunt, continued the voice. Who's a grunt? Said Freddie to himself, quite disgustedly. Next thing Freddie knew, he went plop. Ah, he was in water again. He tried to swim away. He went this way, but he hit his head, and he tried that way, but the same thing happened. He swam round and round till he was dizzy. I wish I was home, said Freddie. And there he is. Look, they've put him in a jar of water at the bottom of a palm tree. Oh, dear. The sun seemed hotter and hotter. Every now and then he could hear the shouts and laughs of the children on the beach. Here they are on the beach. You see the coconut palms and the black rocks. Oh, a nice boat here. Playing ball, look. Oh, there's birds are flying. What are you going to do with me? Thought Freddie. Perhaps they want to eat me. I feel miserable. The water had become so hot, Freddie was almost boiled. After a long time, the sun seemed to turn from the bright yellow to a deep red, and it began to sink lower in the sky. Sunsets in the Bahamas are just beautiful. We'd better go home now, said one of the children. It's supper time. Oh, no, thought Freddie, not supper time. Two hands picked up the jar which Freddie was in. Freddie looked up. A smiling brown face was looking down at him. Time for you to go home too, said the boy. And he lowered the jar slowly into the waves, getting tip-free, and Freddie was into the nice, cool, salty water. Freddie flicked his little tail and swam as fast as his tail could go back to the coral reef. He'd been missed. all his brothers and sisters were already asleep. But his mother was waiting. I like to draw fish. In my classes, sometimes we try to do quite funny fish. Look, like these are simple. This one is simple. You draw a nice fat belly. Look, and remember, all fish have got fins and tails. This is a simple one, just yellow and black stripes. This is the Sergeant Major, and this is just an ordinary grunt. I think Freddie was a bit prettier than that one. And look, I was just going to try a hammerhead shark, but I don't like sharks, so I'm not going to draw anymore. I like nice little fish like this one, or this lovely rainbow fish. Perhaps you can draw fish today. Okay, lovely to hear from you.
Tomatoes.
Oh, my daughter's just reminded me. Have you been watching my tomatoes? Look, they're turning red. I knew they would now. I've got 2 red ones, look. And I've got some green ones. And I was walking around and the birds have dropped seeds all over, and I've got tomatoes growing all over my garden. Nothing. We're still waiting on the pumpkin. The pumpkin was very hard. But we think 2 more days and then we can have pumpkin soup. Have a wonderful day wherever you are, and keep safe, and do not go outside. Never, until it's all over. Bye.